So I kid you not, it was like this big, like this thick. Oh, sorry, I'll run. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Dustin, you take it away.
Oh, me taking it away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday show. This is your weekly meta report for the competitive world of 40K. We weren't talking about anything else nefarious. Don't worry. We knew what we were on. We're here for you guys. We are here to talk about the lists, the tournaments, the meta, and maybe give you some ways to beat it. That's what we do here.
Maybe. The wonderful and ever young, apparently, vampire Keanu Reeves like Paul Murphy is en route to the Kansas City Open right now, not able to join us, but instead we're joined by the frustrated, angsty Danny McDevitt.
He looks a little frustrated and angsty.
Yeah, we searched long, high, low, and probably for about 20 to 30 seconds to find a replacement for the wonderful Angela Lansbury. She's left a hole in all our hearts and lives and the meme factory back end of the FLGN. So now we are going to be relying on Danny to give us the quality memes and stand-ins for which we have become accustomed. We have two amazing events for you this weekend, one of them being possibly what should be known as one of the keystone flagship events of the calendar year of the game of 40K. That is Talavera, which is a Spanish event that's held every year. It is a big teams event, and this year it is 470 freaking players playing teams 40K. It's the biggest teams event in the world, and we're here to tell you mostly about that this week, but we also had the wonderful Kansas City Open to unpack a little bit of, and if we have time, we have a third event, which we probably won't get to, but whatever.
When we have team events to talk about, man, we got too much to talk about with those. I like unpacking those.
Exactly right. Ain't got time for much else. When
ain't nobody got time for that.
Because this is like an LGT and LVO level event in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. And I know you're pretty in love with teams events as well, mate.
Oh my god, it is the best way to play this game. Like I love team events. I live for the team events in 40K. I will go to every single team event I possibly can to play. I prefer, like I've told people before, I play singles tournaments just to hone my teams lists. That's it.
Yeah, and in Australia, most of our, like literally as soon as Uprising happens, which is our like LVO CanCon, exclamation point at the end of the ITC season, it's literally just teams. It's just teams take over from then until after WTC, because we've got our ATC competition in the middle there as well. And so teams is most of my year also. This is actually the down period, so I'm really happy to talk about a lot of team stuff with you. Thank you everybody joining us in chat. Some of our locals and our usual suspects in there. We love you all. Thank you so much. You guys really are going to be carrying us for the third commentator today, the third host. But let's jump in and talk about the first event, mate. Take it away.
The U.S. Open Kansas City from Kansas, Missouri, USA. 156 players, 8 rounds. And, oh, yeah, right. Forgot to talk about where War Games Live Joe is.
Where in the world?
Where in the world is War Games Live Joe?
Do need a jingle.
We do need a jingle. That one might be copyrighted. But I'm bad enough at singing that it doesn't matter. It's not going to get called out. It looks like he is at YHP Oktoberfest GT, 17 players, 5 rounds in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So make sure you check out the War Games Live Joe there and see the quality content from a smaller event. So that'll be interesting to see that. It'll be good. You get some good quality on there. You'll be able to pretty much pick whoever goes on there, whatever you guys want to see on there. You'll probably be able to show it to you. So anyway, back to the U.S. Open Kansas City. 156 players, 8 rounds. The quick and dirty stats. We ain't done them.
We ain't done them.
We ain't done them.
In true G-Dub fashion, the list start released and no one listed their factions. So we didn't waste your time or our time. Although I do have the faction podium for you guys if I'd like to be able to make you read it out, Dustin, which I literally put it in there to make you do it.
Whoa, okay, that's fair. You know what? You're still kind of recovering from your sickness. I'm okay with this. I will handle it for you. I got you, buddy. Don't you worry about this. So we have the illustrious Andrew Gagno bringing Tau and the Farsight Enclaves, which is double patrol, Cold Star Commander, 10 Kroot, 2x4 Kroot Hounds, 2 Riptides, 2 Sunshark Bombers, which you kind of see a lot. And then the second patrol, we have Farsight, Cold Star Commander, 2x2 Crisis Bodyguard, another 10 Kroot, and another Riptide. That's Triptide. That's Triptide Bombers.
The return of the Triptide. Maybe the first time I've seen it this edition. I think I saw it once or twice in 8th edition, but really this hasn't been a thing since 7th edition that we've seen triple Riptide in a list. Sometimes there was 2 in 8th edition, sometimes 1. And I've seen 1 here and there in 9th, but this, first time I've seen 3. What do you make of it?
I actually am confused as to why they aren't still... Okay, once crisis suits went down to you bring one, maybe sometimes you still
Yeah.
see 2 or 3. But once they got their point increase, I'm surprised we didn't see resurgence in Riptides, to be honest, because I actually think they have a lot of play. They can be durable. They still put a ton of damage, and they still have like the move and scoot, so you can actually have Riptides shoot, like touch a piece of terrain, shoot, and then move out to not get shot. I feel like that's pretty good, you know?
Yeah. It
Just
is actually rough. It's actually
yeah,
rough to just not be to be playing a Tau army that you can't shoot back against. They only shoot you. Usually you have to shoot a Tau army for like 1 or 2 turns to start actually shooting the Tau army because they go
yeah.
through the drones and through whatever amazing armor saves they have. And now these guys are just like, can't see us at all, mate. So don't care. Do you have guns? Doesn't matter. Can you punch me? That's the only metric that works right now. Because yeah, this is bordering on non-interactive. I think it's a little bit too all in for my taste. I think 2 Riptides or 1 to 2 is where I would want to be, with a little bit more MSU, maybe another having a medium crisis unit or some stealth suits or whatnot around it. But 3 is really going to push the envelope on some people.
Yeah.
Where do you think this is strong? Where do you think this is weak?
So I feel like it's actually going to struggle into some matchups that are really ham. I'm trying to think of a better word than ham. But armies
Mhm.
just like send it into you because this whole trick is to shoot and scoot a lot of the time, right? Yes, they're durable, but once they start getting tied up and stuff, now they're not shooting as much. They have to shoot
That's right.
what they're in combat with, right?
Mm.
Which is it slows down. It makes you. It forces the Tau player to shoot what you want them to shoot, or maybe if you can kill it too. It
Yeah.
means the really aggressive ones. It might struggle into the really aggressive ones. I think holding forward objectives will be harder for it. It's hoping to kill your opponent.
Yeah.
Correct me if
And
I'm
it's
wrong on that.
100. It's Tau. It is hoping to kill your
Tau,
opponent.
right? Like, what else are you
Yeah.
gonna do to try to kill you?
What else are you gonna do? What else is it here for? I feel like this is one that might not be positioned well into things like demons.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay.
doesn't
Yeah.
kill things like flamers that well because it's got a lot of high quality shots. I know if I remember right, I think all these have ion and plasmas. If I remember right, it might have been another list down
Oh,
the
they
track
all
I
have
was looking at.
ion.
It might have been another soundtrack. There might be 1 or 2 bursts in there. But if there isn't, that I think it is quite hit, swing and a miss. Like, do they just? Firstly, they could be the whole army can be -1 to hit in demons. Just be warped with that roll enough warp storm dice, just -1 to hit all freaking game, which is in itself a big problem. And then the thing I find really interesting about this is that Gonyo, who's an extremely strong player, has chosen to take this on G-Dub terrain. So he has those big ruins he can go and tap in and see all the way through and stuff, but so do his opponent. If opponent isn't touching their ruins, your ruins don't mean anything. You might as well let them see you. It doesn't matter. They're more likely to come out if they're able to see something and try and do it. So maybe it is doing that. Maybe one of these Riptides or 2 of these Riptides are going to be used as bait, while the other one or other 2 bounce back and forward from the ruins. But anyway, really good list. I'm excited to see some new archetypes starting to be broken out for Tau. And like you said, I expected to see this as soon as the last Crisis nerf went through.
Right?
But
Why
it's only
didn't it
just
just happen immediately? Why is it not even?
it's weird.
It's not even really happening.
Yeah, it's sort of well, it kind of is. You'll see this weekend.
Oh,
It kind of is happening.
weekend. Everybody's like, "Oh,
It's
Riptides!"
everyone
Right?
got out the calendar and be like, yeah, we're gonna persevere with crisis suits for exactly 5 more weeks, and then they'll just like bang, flip it over to the Riptides. But yeah, some shout outs in chat. We got Kelsey joining us. We got Artemis Steve, Dorian Bayshaw. Thank you so much, guys. Death of Glory Pete. Wonderful. Nogel Matthew, as always, you're a legend. I think we saw Joel in here as well. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and continuing to keep the chatter up. What is the next list, brother?
The next list, we're looking at Dan Salmon's bringing Tyranid's Kraken. So it's a battalion with a fortification detachment. So you can guess what the fortification would be. There's only one of them that Tyranids generally take. It's a Spore Assist. There are 2 Neurothropes, a Flyrant, 10 Gargoyles, 2x3 Warriors, 2x1 Pyrovores, 3 Venomthropes, Parasite of Mortrex, 2x5 Raveners, 3 Biovores, and a Harpy. Pretty standard for Kraken, I think. What do you make of it?
It's pretty standard for Kraken. I was expecting everyone's first, like, people have been playing Leviathan. I thought their first iterations on Kraken would be a little more all in this on things like the Raveners. I kind of expected to see even less warriors than this and more Gargoyles or more Hormigans. I do like the one big Hormigan unit in Kraken to just go swarm, tie things up immediately when you don't want to use, Raveners and things like that turn 1 because they've got screens. But this has all the usual suspects here. This is I don't want to stop playing the good stuff I was playing, e.g. Harpies, Biovores, Spore Assist, Flyer, and stuff like that. It's funny to see 2 single Pyros. How do you feel about the Pyros in here and also the Parasite and Mortrex as well. Because I thought the Parasite might be a little bit on the downside, but I know Kraken gives it a lot of options.
The Parasite is there. It's a tech piece. I'm assuming
Mm.
it has the Warlord trait, so it counts the alien cunning, so it counts as 5 OBSEC models. It could turn off OBSEC. It's just a tech piece. It lets you win on primary at least one turn, and if you're lucky enough to have it survive, maybe 2, 3. You know, it's actually a really good tech piece. I always like, if you're bringing NIDs, you would usually either bring Death Leaper or the Parasite. Death Leaper went up in points, so now it's you just see the Parasite more.
Yeah,
right?
exactly right.
Plus, it moves faster.
How do you feel about this being a little more MSU than usual? Like the 2 single Pyrovores, 2 small warriors, 2x5 Raveners. Is the 2x5 Raveners enough to like have an aggressive army now? People, or is it just going to be so weird for people just to not be able to go Unga Bunga push warriors?
Well, it's 2x5 Raveners and a Flyrant still.
It's true.
So I mean, the Reaper is still a thing. Yeah, it caps at 3 mortal wounds, but it's still freaking good. Like you should still be taking it. It's just not as busted as it was before.
It's
so
true.
that it makes a difference, but it's not going to game break. He's still completely viable. You should be taking him every game. The Raveners 2x5 is you can only take another 5 units of them.
Yeah.
You just have to be a little more careful with them because you don't have that extra one to kind of come in the back. You don't have Swarmlord in there to make them obsec, but they're still going to be doing all the damage they want to do. They have the tunneling, so they can go up after they kill something. Well, if they stay there long enough to redeploy them somewhere else, if you need them later in the game for another point in the map, it's just 2. I think is the minimum if you're going to be taking Raveners. You need at least 2. 1's not enough. 3 is still, I like 3 better because their points they're money for their points. But it's a matter of what you would drop for them, right? Because the Sporus is great. Well, the Harpy is it's starting to get questionable bringing 1 Harpy.
I'm the same on the Harpy. I'm almost like it's 2 or none. I don't know if bringing 1 is great because a lot of the time you have to put that guy in reserve if you're worried about going second versus Ganyo's Tau. He's just like, ha, thanks for giving me something to kill turn 1. Bang, bang, bang. You know, you can hide the rest of your army on these tables, but that Harpy is just a target.
Yeah,
even through it probably has Synapse. It probably, you know, can be.
Synapse doesn't mean anything with Kraken.
Sorry. It probably has the invuln. Yeah, probably the 4-up invuln.
I was assuming the 4-up invuln.
Yeah, even through that, you'll still kill it. Like, you'll still kill it if you've got nothing else to shoot and all your guns to shoot at it. So, yeah, I'm not sure about the 1. I still kind of like 2 or none. You'd get the points for the other Ravenous with the Pyrovores, right? You drop the Pyrovores, but that's all there is. That's all there is to shift, really.
Yeah, really.
Apart from that's good. It's a good list.
Like the 2x1 Pyrovores, like they're just maybe hold back objectives or because.
The other thing is someone has pointed out there's no Tyrant Guard listed on this, and I believe there was, and I left them off. So apologies. Let me just double check. Dan did send me his list earlier today, and I did whip. This was the last list I added on when I was whipping everything together. Let me just triple check. Yes, there is 3 Tyrant Guard and 3 Zoanthropes, which I missed. I just realized.
I was gonna say.
It looks
a pretty important tech piece right here.
Bit under points. Yeah, there's 3 Zoanthropes and 3 Tyrant Guard in here. My absolute apologies, guys. I rarely make those mistakes, and I'm quite proud of not making them that often. But when you got the Force Org slots, the no Force Org slots listed at the top, I just miss it sometimes. So my apologies. So yeah, definitely rounds this list out quite a bit more. But let's move on to the last one. This is Brett Urbanowski. Give us the lowdown, brother.
Astra Militarum, gunner experts and spotter detail, and what the hell? IO-10 Gogan. What the heck is that?
Iodine Gorgones. It's a
Tempestus
Scions.
I have never heard that before.
Detachment.
Do you know what it does?
Yes, they have some pretty cool stuff. I think they have, I can't remember if it's exploding 6s within a certain range, but what they had that's really exciting, and the reason I know Brett's taken it is because they have a stratagem to deep strike 6 away, not 9 away. So he's taken those 2 units.
I did know about them, I just didn't know what they were called.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, keep going. All right. What's the rest of the list?
So it's double patrol with a battalion. The battalion has a company commander, 2 tank commanders, 6x10 infantry squads, 3 command squads, 3 manticores, and a chimera. Patrol is a tank commander, 2x10 infantry squads, a master of ordnance, and a heavy weapons team. Mortars, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yep. And then the last patrol is the primary psyker, the 2x5 Tempestus Scions, and 3 Wordvane Psychers.
So I had a little bit of a chat with Brett on this list because naturally I'm a guard head myself, and I loved unpacking all the portions of this. Triple Manticores, I feel like is either I'm not in love with triple Manticores. I'd love one of those to be a Basilisk. like one payload Manticore, one payload Basilisk or vice versa, whichever one's better for the meta. But that Ren 3 on the Bassi is just so needed in some matchups. But
Yeah.
I know Brett, he thinks like he's got a good handle on most of the armor content matchups anyway, and so he's like, well, I just outscore those, so I don't need the Ren there. I don't need to try and kill them. Plus, it's got triple tank commanders, which are, I know I can remember definitely the top two are Demolisher cannons. Can't remember about the last one. But yeah, 680 infantry, then 3 command squads. They got 1 Chimera, 1 heavy support. The bottom patrol, and now I'm starting to see this, I'm starting to do this, is just slapping a patrol on to make my secondary game easier. And what he's done is he's guaranteeing a 12 on R&D by taking those 2 units of Scions that can deep strike 6 away. And he's also taking 2 Psychers. So he's putting the issue on his opponent, because what he's told me was everyone just keeps auto-scoring 15 on Psychic Interrogation or 12 on Ritual versus him. And he wants to be able to at least put the thought in your head that you don't auto get those points.
Yep. No, that absolutely makes sense, to make sure that it just makes you think twice about those things, like you said. The command squad's great for secondaries in there.
Yeah.
And the thing with the Manticores too is, like, I know what you mean. That extra AP makes a huge difference, but there is so much T5 in the game right now that extra strength makes a huge difference.
Holy crap! With Leviathan being gone, Manticores. Oh,
Manticores are just money with that strength 10.
I just realized that they are like God mode versus Nids now. Holy shit!
Yeah. Absolute God mode.
Dude. The Kraken, like those Ravenous won't make it out of the deployment zone if it goes second.
They won't.
Like they will just explode. Wow, that is so powerful. All right, but yeah, I love this list. He's called this shot, by the way. Brett said this is my one. I'm winning this one. It'll be very interesting. Yeah, it's going to be
who's going to win
spicy.
it then?
I'm going for Brett. I mean,
All
Orcs last week, Guard this week.
You know what?
A freaking world.
That's true.
What a world that would be.
Time. If he called a shot, we'll go with it. All right, Brett. Here's the hand of destiny, buddy.
The Catachan is in chat as well. That could be him. He does call himself the Catachan. But let's transition and talk about our next event, which is the big one.
The big one. So the GT Talavera X from Talavera I'm sorry, guys. Delarania?
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
It's in Spain, guys. Okay, it's in Spain.
It's pretty much almost in like the dead middle of Spain. It looks like it's a couple.
It is in the heart of Spain, the actual country itself. It's not in London. We checked.
Definitely not in London.
We checked.
I triple checked.
Triple checked. It's not in London, guys. We have it in Spain. 472 players and 59 teams of 8 players. That is WTC style, having 8 players, 6 rounds. So 59 teams means you're not going to see any more than 59 of any of these. Again, the closer to 59 means every single team would have taken it. So we'll see how many actually are being taken of each of them. So Imperial Super Faction, there's 31 Sisters of Battle, which is actually a lot lower than I thought it would be. 24 Custodes, 6 AdMech, 10 Astro Militarum, 19 Grey Knights, and 24 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 18 Dark Angels, 17 Space Wolves, 16 Blood Angels, 6 Ultramarines, 2 Salamanders, 6 Black Templar, 1 Raven Guard, 1 White Scar, 3 Imperial Fists, 2 Iron Hands, and 2 Death Watch. Chaos, there's 25 Chaos Space Marines, 21 T-Suns, 32 Death Guard, 22 Demons, 16 Renegade Knights. Xenos, there's 31 Necrons, 22 Orcs, and 25 Tau. Hivemind, there's 36 Tyranids, 7 Genes to the Cult, 9 Drukhari, 6 Harlequins, 18 Usuriani, and 2 Ynnari for the Eldari Super Faction, rounding it off, which means the podium is Tyranids at the top with only 36, though. Mm-hmm. Then Death Guard at 32, Necrons and Sisters tied in third with 31, and then a couple honorable mentions like CSM and Tower at 25, and Custodes and Imperial Knights at 24. That is as many Tyranids as I thought there would be, and a lot more Death Guard than I thought there. There's more Death Guard than Sisters and Necrons in a team event.
Dude, what? There is a lot to unpack here. Hence, we're probably going to stay on this one for the rest of the show. But there's a lot going on here. It's very strange. Firstly, eight player teams means you really get factions you wouldn't get anywhere else in 8 player teams. When you're gonna take one of everything and you get down to what is the 8th best faction, or what do we have a player for? Now that we got 6 of our best players are on 6 of the best factions. We got 2 other blokes, 2 other players. What do we need in this lineup, and who has access to what? Turns out, just shitloads of people in Europe have Death Guard armies.
Apparently, Death Guard is like, we all have it. We should be taking this. More than Necrons and Sisters, which I thought, in my opinion, are like some of the best team lists, especially in teams of 8.
Mm.
Wait a minute, teams of 8, and we're not maxing out on Tyranid, Sisters, and Necrons. What kind of spread
I
is
know.
this? It's amazing.
Not even cracking 40 of any of those is really, really
That's
wild.
crazy.
Real wild, man. Like, and the thing is, like, with Talavera, it is 2.5 months, 3 months removed from the WTC. Sorry, 2 months removed from the WTC. So usually you see this as a little bit of an evolution of the WTC scene. And I tell you what, Death Guard did well at WTC. Death Guard did very respectably and very well there for what they were there for, which was grindy melee matchups. So I wouldn't be surprised if everyone's just realized, well, we actually have that. We've
Wait a minute.
we've got that. It's just over there. Let's take that for this one. Let's slot it in and see how it goes. So I'm a big fan of Death Guard in the 8-mans. I just have no idea why there's so much. Also, I will tell you, I don't know this for sure, but I would speak very confidently in saying that the balance slate will not be in effect at this event. Team events of this size, of this caliber, usually have a 2-week to possibly a month lead time on rules cutoff, because it's so hard to put 8 lists together, 8 players together, galvanize them, lock in the teams, lock in the lists and the factions, that usually they don't adopt any rules in the month or so before. Because it could cause the whole event to fall apart. Everyone lost. If G-Dub had have nuked Tyranids, 36 teams just lost their player. I needed to reshuffle, which could be half of those could just decide to not come now. So a lot of the time they don't do that. We have 3 of the top teams in attendance, and I have asked some very knowledgeable Spanish heads what teams were in attendance and in contention. And the first one up is I think we did this event. I'm pretty sure we did this event last year, and this was the first team we read out last year. I'm pretty sure they podiumed last year. This is Narcos. There's a couple of WTC Spanish members on this one, and also on the last one as well. And let's go through their 8-pack. Starts off with Harlequins, Light Sadith, nothing but cloud cars, nothing to see here. Creations of Bile from CSM.
Finally!
10 Terminators and MSU aggro with the Baton, and the MSU aggro is, I believe that this one was Warp Talons and Possessed with the Baton. Then we've got Sisters of Bloody Rose, good stuff, whatever. Imperial Knights, Freeblade Lands, 1 big, 10 small. An Undivided Demons list with the 3 big boys, that is Be'lakor, Thirster, Scarbrand, and 15 Flamers. This is crazy, this one. This is an Orc Death Skulls Brigade, with which pretty much the core of it is 30 Stormboys and 3 Kill Rigs, and then the rest of it's just kind of MSU OBSEC in bits and pieces. 1,000 Suns Cult of Duplicity, 20 Scarab Cult Terminators, what you'd expect, and then a Leviathan good stuff rounds out the 8-pack. Brother, jump on in. There is a lot here again.
Okay. Harlequins, 100% makes sense. Sisters, Bloody Rose, 100% makes sense. Imperial Knights, same thing. Tyranids, absolutely. Those 4, they're no-brainers, I think. Demons Undivided, I actually like them for teams for sure. Be'lakor, the Thirster, the Scarbrand, and 15 Flamers. I think that actually can be a really, really powerful team list. It can bully certain lists out there. 1,000 Suns, I'm actually starting to fall out of love with them in team events and just in general.
Very out of. I would rather have a Death Guard list than a T Suns list at this point.
Yeah, especially like when teams of 8,000 Suns, I feel like you're taking 1,000 Suns because you have a player that's just good with them, which is fine.
Exactly right. Yeah. You have a proficient, strong 1,000 Suns player. Yeah. You trust him, you back him, you send him in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always for that. If you have like a faction specialist, you take them on your team. They play that. You don't make a faction specialist play not their faction. That's silly. It's just silly. Don't do that. The Orcs. We got to talk about the Orcs here. The Death Skulls.
Yes, we do.
30 Stormboys, 3 Kill Rigs, and MSU OBSEC. So what is that in there for, do you think?
It's a point scorer.
Mm-hmm. You think it's like a defender kind of thing? As in, it doesn't care what it goes up against. It just
it's a defender by disruption, because it's Death Skulls. All I know is it's got 3 into Commandos, all OBSEC, 3 into 10 Stormboys, all OBSEC, 3 Kill Rigs are not OBSEC, but it's just a bunch of OBSEC. I know it's got a couple of Truck Boys in there as well. It's just going to sling, and of course it's got the Beast Snaggers and the Kill Rigs. It's just going to sling OBSEC on you and try and disrupt your score. So it's not about score. It could score a bunch of points itself. Gretchen getting the good bits, stomping good, all that stuff. You're going to get 1 or 2, kills a turn. But I would say first up, this is a pretty good, if not a decent list into things like demons, which are going to be coming strong into the meta at the moment. It's got the kill rigs to soak up flame or overwatches and trucks to do it, stuff like that. And then it's just got density and quantity to throw on you. In addition to that, could just swamp all your objectives. And cool, you lose to demons, they didn't get any primary, it doesn't matter, you didn't lose that bad. Can also do the same to a bunch of different other armies. What it is a resource game. You're just trying to tempo out a resource game versus your opponent where you have, well, you can start 3 units of commandos and essentially charge with them turn 1 in addition to 30 truck boys. 30 storm boys in it as well. And it's all lobsec. So you're not putting up any banners turn 1 if they don't want you to. You're not getting into the middle for ritual or any of that crap. You could do that while not using any characters up forward as well, so they get no interrogation. You can really hamper people's turn 1 scoring and essentially give them a donut on their primary turn 2 if they went first. So I do like this list a lot. And I guess what? It's not the last time you'll see it in this event, which is what is kind of nuts about this thing. We might be seeing the birth of a new archetype here. I want to watch this list play. I want to see it on the table. I need to know how I feel about it, and my gut thinking about how it's going to operate is what it is. Because it doesn't look like an Unga Bunga throw all the boys in, try and win the game. It seems like...
But it can in certain matchups.
It's absolutely still can. You think about that versus like Gonyo's list. If that was first versus Gonyo on G-Dub terrain, he's in a lot of freaking trouble, brother.
Yeah.
But also, this is a great list, I think, into things like knights. Because you've got all these small units, and you just block up every single avenue with like 50-point units if you go first. It's WTC tables, brother. There's only so many avenues. If you catch them on a heavy...
WTC tables does make a difference for sure.
There's only so many ways they're going to get to you. There's only so many ways they can come at you. And this thing can play actually decent board control by just blocking you up, gumming you up with like multiple dozens of waves of dumb crap that doesn't cost any points. But I'm extrapolating this on gut feel about how this works. This could work in a completely different fashion. They could be using it to hunt something that's local to their meta that we're not aware of. So don't take it with any gospel, guys. That's just my gut feeling. I do love the fact that in 8-mans, you did see a lot of people either taking double knights or no knights at WTC because there wasn't another equivalent. I mean, America found a nice, cool little niche where they took like almost a second knight list in John Lennon's Custodes.
Yeah.
This Demons list is their second knights list in this equation, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the other one though is Creations of Bile is just so strong. I don't know why you wouldn't. For a team event especially, it is so good at denying points and getting points and killing stuff. And even if you die, they still... You're talking about a resource trading game. You traded a resource of close combat to kill Bile. You still die.
Yeah. I would only be taking... if I had to go to WTC next week, I'd be like, everyone's taking Bile. Everyone's taking Bile. If you have any confidence in your pairings ability, you take Bile. Because you're just like, well, does the opponent have guns? Don't use the Bile.
Yeah, exactly. Like Bile, I think, is the perfect team just because, again, like you're saying, you can avoid the gun matchups. Like, all right, cool. Now, let's go. Like, this is delicious. I love I love combat matchups.
Anyway, that is what I think is probably one of the top teams in attendance. Definitely one of the top Spanish teams. There are quite a few French teams in attendance. A bunch of other European nations sending some of their sharks to this one. We did want to give the Hometail hopefuls a bit of the extra love because, it's a Spanish event. I think about 80%, 85% of this event is Spanish out of the 470 odd players. The next team is Adeptus Bananas. Which I'm here for. It's a great. Yeah, I had a chuckle too. And the first of their list is Orcs Death Skulls. It's a brigade.
What?
It's exactly the same list. I broke my brain. I thought I'd opened the same tab twice by accident. I had to go back and check that because it's exactly the same list. There's to what I can see, there's not a point different here. If there is, apologies. But I looked at it and I was scrolling down like, did I just open the same tab twice by accident? No, there's 2 of these. Why are there 2 of these? Anyway, I'll give you the rest of the 8-pack. Got Undeflated Demons, Bellicor with spamming medium demons in this one. It's got big units of Flesh Hounds, big units of Crushers, big units of Seekers with 14 Flamers. And Bellicor, like I said, another light Sadith, Clown Car, Harlequins list. Morty's Anvil Death Guard, max squad of Blight Lords, a max squad of Plague Marines, and then a bunch of MSU. So I thought that was quite interesting as well. We've got a Farsight Tower list with triple hammerhead and 3 medium crisis units. I think they're all between 3 and 5 mans, but without many of the trimmings. Then we've got a Necron's good stuff list, Leviathan Tyrannid list, which is right up your alley. 3x3 Zoanthropes, 2 Neurothropes, and 2 Harpies, making it a much more mortal wound centric list than other archetypes. And
I
then
like that.
bloody Rose Scissors to wrap it up.
Okay, well, same thing. Sisters, Necrons, Harlequins.
Yep.
Death Guard, I actually really like seeing in here, like you were saying too. Tau, I love the Tau in team events too, especially with the 3 Hammerheads and Crisis squads. The Orcs still, I love the I want to see what they were planning on putting into, or if they don't even care. It's like, whatever. He's got
I
this.
just don't get it. I love it. I love that I don't get it. I love looking at a list and being like, I don't quite understand why you were here, let alone 2 of the top teams taking exactly the same list. Which means that it's not a fluke. They have to know something about this meta and this event. Like that, it has to have been proven to succeed and be good to be taken by these teams. So what do they know? It's so exciting. I want to freaking jump in and feast on their brains and learn what they learned.
Maybe you are a Tyranid player.
Well, no, Space Marines do it as well.
Wait, what? Are you
in the Heresy. You can absorb people's knowledge
Heresy,
in eating their brains. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I want to know what's going on there.
That's fair.
The Farsight list makes all the sense in the world. You're just going to bully any vehicle list that they've got. Any demons list as well has got to really respect that. The Tyrannid list is that it's not quite the German mortal wound spam list, is it? But it's most of the way there. Is that right? Or is that it?
Well, I don't know the whole list, but those are. I don't know if it has the Harpy in it. Maybe it does. But yeah,
I couldn't remember if it had the Harpies. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it had the Harpies. But this is a mortal wound spam Tyranids, as I feel. Even though the data slate's still not in effect yet and Leviathan's still fully powered, I think this is better in a lot of ways.
I've been saying it for weeks, months.
Months. Because this list has just such blowout potential. Whereas Leviathan has to be used as a bully, and if it can't bully its opponent at this level, it's just not getting a big win, even if it's winning. If it can't push you, bully you, and terrify you off the primary, it doesn't get big wins in this kind of format, this 20-0 format. Whereas this thing, absolutely. We saw Junior, the top player at SoCal, lose his entire army in 2 turns to mortal wounds from a Tyranid army, essentially. Yeah.
Yep.
How many can it put out a turn, give or take, by your estimation?
Depending on how many of the other squads they have in there, if you have like 3x3 Zoanthropes, you have the Neurothrope, you have Harpies, if you have Biovores, or if you have Maliceptor. And we won't include the Flyrant in there because that also mortal wounds. But on average, you're looking between like 22 to 30 mortal wounds.
That's T-Sun's territory. That's really significant. Which has been pointed out in chat that Dorian Brayshaw just pointed out that Death Skull is actually a 5+ against mortals, which we forget about a lot. Which
we do.
Yeah. So that could be another little player there as well, making Death Skulls. Because you look at that list, and I'm like, it was pointed out in chat. Is it just better as Blood Axes? Is it just better as Goths?
I don't know. I like the Death Skulls, to be honest.
Me too. I like the OBSEC. The OBSEC on the...
Or at least the way it's built. If you're building brigade style, Death Skulls absolutely make sense.
Totally fair. All right, jumping down to the last of the teams we've got to unpack with this one. This one's called Conclave. They've got double knight builds, and they are very much mirrors of each other. So there's Renegade Knights and Imperial Knights. One is Vectrix, one is a Freeblade Lance. They are both comprised of 1 big and 10 smalls, both their knight lists.
Okay.
So it's like most tables they're good on, apart from the heavy in this event, and one of them will probably get the lights. They've got a Farsight Tower list with 1 big Crisis unit and 3 Hammerheads, so very similar to the previous one. Thousand Suns and Demons in Occult Duplicity and Zinch.
That's
Fate
better.
Skimmer. Yeah, I like this a lot. Fate Skimmer, 6 Flamers, and a unit of Screamers with 10 Scarab Occult Terminators and 5 Spawn making up the archetype. I'm a big fan of that one.
I like Thousand Suns with the Demons. I like that.
Yeah, the only question is then, are you wasting your demons? Could you have a better list as a solo demons? And that just depends if you got a better player for it or not.
It's arguable. I actually think the best combination in terms of demons and chaos right now, Thousand Suns and Demons is like second. There's another combo that's I think is just a little bit better, but it's just like straight Chaos Space Marines. But just because there's a couple things you can do with demons. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Sorry, we have a very spicy Twilight Harlequins build, which is 3 units of 5 Skyweavers and 4 Clown Cars to back it all up. Then we have another Creations of Bile list, which is Big Terminators and MSU Aggro, I think, same as well. This one, I think, had more Raptors and Warp Talons and had some Chosen in it as well, and not just all. I think it was 2 units of Chosen, 2 units Possessed. Then we have a Leviathans build, which is exactly the same as the previous one.
Mortal Wounds!
3x3 Zoanthropes, 2 Neurothropes, and the Harpies. Then we just have a Necron's Good Stuff list to round it out.
So I'm starting to see the Death Skulls thing with the 5-up mortals.
Yeah, I am. I am starting to see it. I'm starting to see where it's getting its ins. There's some interesting correlations here. Interesting differences about this last list. Firstly, the double knight builds being kind of both two sides of the same coin. But then the Twilight Harlequin build with the 15 Skyweavers. What the hell is that doing here?
Are they equipped with Haywire? Are they trying to be able
They're
to fight?
Shurikens.
Really? I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they're all Shurikens, if I remember right.
Which is why fast. It is the when we're ready to fight you, we will fight you list.
It's they're always on our terms list.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought it was on your terms? Nah, our terms.
Yeah.
Because
they're what, 22 inches and still charge with extra attacks with Twilight.
Mm-hmm. But what I do like about them here is that you can keep them into matchups where their profiles are good. Because I found that with Skyweavers, when their melee profiles aren't good, they are so bad for their points.
Oh yeah,
terrible for their points.
That's actually the good point to keep on here because it only has the 4 Clown Cars, which means that the Skyweavers are what you're doing, what you want to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
and they are not cheap. But if you get them into the right matchups, they will carry you for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also this means you've probably got a pretty confident player. Taking it off the beaten path of light, the 8 or 9 Clown Car light build that just does well into everything. Yep. Also, very similar Creations of Bile list. What the second one didn't have a... No, the second list army, the second team didn't have a CSM build. So the two that we had are pretty much the same build, just a different amount of Possessed to Chosen to Warp Talons. Exactly the same. We've got 2 of exactly the same Orc list, 2 of exactly the same Tyranid list. All the Necron lists are exactly the same. This Thousand Suns list, you are right, does stand out as being the aberrant build. This is all different from all the other T-Suns that I think we were going to see there. Do you think it's enough to break the mold and let them get big wins? Because that is what people think is the downside of T-Suns, yeah?
The Flamers can definitely help with that. I don't know about only 6 of them. I feel like we want to go heavier into them for that. If you want to go that route, that's just me, obviously, because I think they're one of the things that can actually give you that punch in the right spot to kind of make that difference and just kill those units that you're worried about or get on that objective or hold that objective too. Still the same kind of durability. It's just, I feel like one of the things that T-Suns are missing, because their moral wound output is it's ridiculous. Their shooting is mediocre. Their combat is mediocre. So like they're above average at everything, and then just really good at psychic.
Yeah, so, exactly right.
If you're gonna add demons in there, I feel like you either want to go heavy into Flamers or try to add some like really, really powerful close combat into it. But can they?
We've just had an ask in the chat what the Skyweavers are equipped with, because I think this will determine what people think they're going to be used for. I've just quickly looked up the lists.
It's not bolas, right? There's no way.
No, it's all Zephyr Glaives. Okay, and sorry, 1 unit, 2 units of Shurikens, 1 unit has Haywires.
Okay, so he still has 1 unit in there. So they obviously because they're Twilight, giving them bolas would just be silly because they're going to be advancing and charging. They're not going to be shooting, right? Yeah,
what a waste to give them bolas. It's got to be Zephyr Glaives, which still doesn't make them great into a lot of things, but does. I'm trying to think of what they're here for. I'm trying to think of the armies that they're here to trade into and to fight against. Because if they had all Haywires, obviously we're going to assume they're going to be hunting Knights. But even then, like the Knights still have amazing profiles into them. Like one Carnivore can go and just pick up the whole unit.
You know what list they would be really good into? Ganyo's Tau list.
Oh,
or just Tau in general.
They really would, actually. They really would.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, they would be good into the Orcs. Because they can play Keep Away from when they need to play Keep Away. All the Shuriken Cannons being Strength 6 with Rend 1 is pretty much everything you need into that matchup, shooting-wise. And they're Strength 5 or better on all their melee weapons. So that's a decent matchup there. but that becomes a bit of a scrappy attrition war as well. But this is the lineup that intrigued me the most because I didn't quite get a few of the choices, but I know it's a really strong team, so it's got to be for some good place. I want one of the Orc teams to win though, so that's why I'm going for Adeptus Bananas. I know Narcos is probably the top pick to win, if I remember the last couple of years. So I'm going for not for them. I'm going for Adeptus Bananas.
I think I will go for them too, just because I'm not a fan of that Thousand Sun list, the Narcos. I'm sure it'll do really well. I prefer the lineup for the Adeptus Bananas.
Totally fair enough. That is the GT Talavera 10 guys. So this is the 10th year of the event. I know it was heavily pushed. I'm hoping to be there next year or the year after, actually, because this is like it's been on my list. It might not have been on many people's radars because it's it's in Spain and they kind of, the Iberian Peninsula doesn't quite close its borders, but they have a very strong internal community. Like you don't see many big Spanish teams going elsewhere because they're like, why leave? We've got like 1,000 people ready to throw down every other weekend. Why would we go anywhere else for our Warhammer? It's a beautiful world. But it's always been one of those destination events for me, and I think it should be for you guys at home too. So keep it on your calendars. Maybe we'll send an FLGN team one day.
We should do that.
Enough of you super chat, subscribe and stuff. We'll get just the FLGN shows, make a team out of it, send it on to Talavera.
You guys
need to hilarious.
That would be so good. Like, if you should do that for like any team event, if we get enough like super chats and stuff, get an FLG team sent out there. That'd be amazing. I'd be down for that.
We'll let you guys pick the team as well.
Yeah, you guys even pick the team. Yeah.
There's more than 8 players. There'd be more than 8 people. Because there's the three of us. Dicky would have to be involved, 100%. Dicky, Tech Breach Dicky's involved as well. And then we got the 2 boys on Grim After Dark. We got Val. We got Seth and Kicker. We're already at 9.
I don't think Val even plays anymore though. He plays fantasy now. He doesn't play 40K anymore.
He can be a coach. He can be a coach.
He be coach. He can be coach and streamer. Yeah.
He can be the stream team.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. There we go. There's our 8, right?
They're 8. Done.
We got our team. I think we all play different armies.
That's right. In saying that, going back to the numbers here for the factions representation, was there anything else that really jumped out to you? I just want to give this the time of day. Like, there is less CSM here than I thought there would be, by the way.
There is less CSM here, yeah. I'm not too surprised about the Eldari numbers. Tyranids, if Leviathan is still like, if they're still they're not using the data slate, then only seeing 36, that's low to me for sure.
Yeah, 36 out of 59. I would have thought like mid 40s.
Yeah,
would be out of the question.
That's actually crazy to me. And the fact that there are actually, how many are there?
Well, the other one for me was Necrons.
74 Space Marines? What? Wait.
Yeah, I wasn't going to point that out, but I realized there's more Space Marines there than should be allowed. So I don't know. There might be a rule.
Maybe the Blood Angels, Dark Angels are different. Space Wolves are different.
Possibly.
Than the Codex?
Yeah, possibly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, maybe they've let that separate out. Because honestly, no one's going to feel like you're abusing the system.
It's true.
Like,
seriously, if you take Blood Angels, there's your competitive one. Then if you want to take another one, sure, go ahead.
Go ahead. Waste the spot.
Go ahead.
Fine. Yeah. So I will have to look into that because my numbers are pretty rock solid on that super faction. So there's 74. There is more there than is possible to be taken by one per team.
Yeah, that definitely surprised. I'm a little surprised that there's not more Knights in general too, because I feel like they're really good in an 8-man team. They are really good. I don't expect them to be like in every team. I expect them to be closer to half, though.
Yeah, so combined there is 40. There is 40 of them combined. So,
but you can take both, right?
Yeah, exactly right. But I would have thought one in almost every team was my one of in every team.
I still think if you take one, you take two. Like you take both.
It depends.
Like one, unless you have like the
pseudo,
the pseudo knife. Yeah, you need to be able to use it as a bully. If you need to, with something else that kind of plays similar, because I don't think you put it down unless you've already gotten rid of all the bad matchups for it that it really doesn't want to see in the pairings.
Yeah, exactly right. And you can use 2 really well. The issue when you take 2, and then you might as well have taken none, because But that's all right. Jumping down, I think we're gonna hit a Fuego, buddy. Let's
Yeah, let's do Fuego.
How about hey guys?
Oh,
How about we hit a quick ad and then we'll go right into the Fuego afterwards.
Can they hear you saying that, or are we just talking to ourselves right now?
They can hear me. They can hear me.
Okay.
Good. That's good.
All
All
right.
right.
So let's listen to the tech priest here, and we'll do an ad apparently.
And we are back.
See what happens when Mr. Murphy isn't here?
Yeah.
He is the glue. He is the glue.
He is the glue.
That holds.
Adam and I just go completely off the rails here. We just...
I don't know what the Fuegos are. We're doing 1 minute because there's only the two of us. Tech Priest Dicky, freaking take it away when you're ready, brother.
All right. Best Halloween candy. Go.
Those little rocket things with all the little candies in there.
Fan of sherbet bombs? I don't know if you guys have them down there.
Sherbet bombs? What the heck is that?
What's a sherbet bomb?
It's just like a candy shell with a crap load of sherbet in it. You know what sherbet is?
I know what sherbet is, but
ice cream?
Like a cream sherbet? Like sherbet to us is ice cream.
Yeah, that's what is it? You calling it sorbet? You call it sorbet sherbet over there? Some crap.
Sorbet is still
sorbet.
Ice
Okay,
cream, isn't it?
Usually it's dairy-free ice cream. Sorbet is, but
right.
So
yes, that's what it
sherbet is just like sweet kind of bicarby stuff that kind of foams up and tingles all over your mouth. Usually get it with a little spoon in a little bag when you're a kid, and you like spoon it out and you go yum yum yum. A sherbet bomb is a candy shell full of that stuff, and it kind of explodes in your face and makes all your mouth go weird.
Explodes in your face.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just like frogs.
You just like things exploding in your face?
Dude, I'm a 40k player. You know I've got some stuff.
You know what? I can't argue with you on that.
Fuego. All right.
I was trying not to say it, whatever.
Best scary movie.
I really liked Hereditary.
Who?
Okay, you don't mean the actual scary movie series, right?
No. Okay. I mean,
just making sure. I'm making sure. I'm making sure, man.
We're wasting time.
From my childhood, Exorcist.
This always a waste of time. This is what we do. This is what it's about.
That's true.
It's it. Exorcist from my childhood. As an adult, Hereditary was a big favorite of mine. Really enjoyed it.
This scary movie. See, there's not many scary movies that I'm like, yeah, that was amazing. Because I haven't gone back to watch them multiple times, usually unless they're on TV, and then I'll watch them again. I can't think of one that really jumped out at me, both literally or figuratively. I liked. Oh, I know. But why can't I? Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god, The Shining.
Okay.
Shining.
Yeah, we got there.
Jeez.
Shining is very good.
Shining is amazing.
No more context. Fuego.
Don't need to. Come on. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah.
You probably won't be scared by today's standards, but fantastic movie.
Do ghosts exist?
I'm gonna say no.
It's just like there was this very awkward pause there.
Yeah. How do we
No?
tackle this? I don't believe in the supernatural or the occult.
if you're watching us live right now, there's one right here, freaking trying to get into the screen.
You do have a ghost back there.
There is literally a ghost on my screen.
Is that the shine from your forehead? No.
Wow.
Wow. Like the juxtaposition.
I'm not bald. This is just the solar panel for my sex machine. Okay. That's
wow.
Yes. Well. Getting into the quality Fuegos now, baby.
Yeah. All right. Well, who ain't afraid no ghosts?
I'm not afraid of no ghost. I'm not afraid of no ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
I ain't afraid.
There
of
we
That's
go.
the only answer. Like, is there?
That is literally the only answer to that question.
Okay.
Is there another? Adam, did you have another
Is
answer?
there another answer, Adam?
No.
No,
I don't-
there's not.
Wait,
what?
okay, wait. You do know what we're referencing right now, right?
Yeah, Ghostbusters.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
just
Ooh,
making sure.
jeez.
So
I
I was really worried there for a second.
Australia is a place that exists. Like we do
Is
have
it? It's not like completely under a rock or something, or you haven't been living under a rock at least?
This is
I mean,
probably
yeah,
going to be the best question of the day. What scares you the most at a Warhammer event?
Oh, this is a good one. There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah,
There's a
it
lot
could
to
be. It
choose
could be
from.
lists. It could be hotel rooms. It could be food. It could be
Oh,
anything.
I told a mate, it changes meta to meta with me, and size of the event. My recent one was that I told my mate about this in like as if I was woke up in a cold sweat. I get to the top table of like 100-player major. I play against Necrons and I go second. I table them in turn 4 and I lose the game by 20 points. That's my biggest fear. It scares me most at a Warhammer event at the moment.
For me, I'm never scared of lists. I'm always excited to play, especially new stuff that I haven't played before. I love playing that kind of stuff. So for me, it's like, how do I say it politely on a family show? Swamp bum.
Oh, that's what
'Cause
you're
it
most
hurts.
afraid of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're most afraid of the smells.
Most afraid of the smells and it hurts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
How does it hurt? Does it hurt your face or your
You ever
nose,
never been
or-
like chapped before from that kind of stuff?
What?
It's a horrible feeling.
I don't know what's going on anymore. Moving on.
moving on.
Next question.
What's your biggest Orktober regret? Whatever.
Biggest October regret?
Yep.
That they literally got nothing in October. There was literally 0% things.
No, they got
For
one thing.
orcs.
They just got one.
What they get?
The orc dying on the sword.
They
That's
got
what
the Black Templar
Yeah.
Emperor's Champion eviscerating one on a
Yeah.
base. That's what they got for October.
But I think it's more the questions as we have 27 seconds left. Is more, what do you regret? In
Who are you,
October?
Elmer Fudd?
I know. I suffering succotash.
I regret.
That's not. Okay.
Jesus. I gave away an orc army to somebody who really didn't deserve it.
Oh,
And I regret that. I wish I had an orc army right now.
I
Instead of
bought an
no
orc
orc army.
army from somebody that's awesome.
Nice.
I have it here, but I would never sell it. My regret with Orktober? Orktober's been amazing for me. I don't have any regrets right now.
all right.
I-
There you go.
Yeah.
I haven't drunk enough water.
Nope, there you go.
That's it. Yeah. Hydrate this
Hydrate.
October.
Hydrate this October. That is your public health announcement from Thursday show.
Do you know what my regret is actually?
Hmm?
That I have washed my brush in my tea more than my water this October.
Have you drunk that tea?
I drank the tea. I continue
Yeah.
to drink the tea.
Ooh.
Now, if I put a wash in it, I won't drink it. If it's just like what have I got? A bit of corn red. Hey, it's just flavor, baby. That's it.
What about like a metallic? Would a metallic be
Yeah,
okay?
no, I
to drink?
wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't drink a metallic.
'Cause that feels more chunky.
It's got shards in it and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually got
They-
shards and stuff.
Yeah,
You're like
the
drinking fiberglass at that point.
density of microplastics in the body explodes exponentially.
Well, that
That's-
is the show for tonight, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it as always, and make sure you give us that 5-star review, like and subscribe, do all the great stuff. Smash that like button if you're on YouTube. That's the energy we want to give out to you.
Wow.
That's the energy Danny's giving you right now.
That's right. That's
He's
the energy.
telling
That's the
you to
energy.
smash that
Smashing
like
it
button.
right now.
Smash
Yeah.
that! Smash that like button right now. Adam, always a pleasure. Have anything else to say to the wonderful people
Nah,
out there?
get out there, enjoy some 40K, guys, and yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
See you guys next week.
And good luck, Paul Murphy, on his
And
weekend.
good luck.
Oh, go watch the,
Yeah.
the Kansas City coverage. It's going to be the first big event post data slate. We'll see if anything actually changed. I'm excited.
Let's see it.
Good night, guys.